Bowers, that story shows that you're both a very good friend because you didn't want to bring anything up, and also a very bad friend because you don't remember what people look like.
I have a fun story, and I don't know exactly how to tell this exactly. A couple, 2.5 years ago, I did a comedy show in Indianapolis with Steve, and he brought a girl with him that looks a lot like Rachel, or at least in my mind.
Hold on, let's rewind
like
for a second. I was seeing someone for a couple of months. She came with me to this comedy show, and that is where Bowers originally met her. And then shortly after that, we also all went to a baseball game together.
So I met her a second time.
Yes.
And then when I met Rachel the first time, she said, "I'm Steve's friend from Cincinnati." And I was like, oh, I thought it was this. So this whole time, I thought Rachel was Steve's ex-girlfriend. This whole time. I did not know.
When did you find out?
Thursday. So I'm taking Steve back his boxes he lent me. And I said something about, well, you dated Rachel, and that worked out. He goes, what do you mean I dated Rachel? I'm like, remember we went to that baseball game? And he's like, what are you talking about? He's like, that's a completely different person. I'm like, oh my God, are you serious?
And by the way, it took me way longer to figure out than Bowers is saying just now. Like, it was because we were talking about the idea of, like, you know, some comics that have dated, and I said something about how, yeah, you know, it's difficult because, you know, if you break up with somebody, then you got to work together. And that's when he was like, well, you can work with Rachel. And I was like, what? What are you talking about? And he's like, yeah, you dated Rachel. I was like, I was unaware. When did I date Rachel? And then he starts like saying, he's like, yeah, you know, I met her in Cincinnati. I'm like, good for you for meeting her then. That's where she used to be from. And I didn't even put together that he was saying like when we went to a Reds game. And it like took probably 5 minutes before I was like, oh, fuck. No, that's a different human being, Bowers. That is a completely different person.
That is hilarious.
Oh my God.
I also love that probably Bowers was saying it this way. He was probably like, point is, like, you can date someone you work with, and it works out sometimes, you know?
It's good that Rachel and I are still on good terms, even though we never dated.
Swear to God, this whole time.
That is so funny.
And like, I met so many comics, you know, I'm like, how does Steve's ex-girlfriend know this many comics? This is amazing. This whole time.
You never thought to ask, or like...
Well, I don't know, man. Like I said, I mean, it wasn't that big a deal. I mean, I was just like,
he didn't want to meddle. He was worried about bringing back up some old demons. And look, Rachel, you and I have just gotten past the fact that we've never dated. And he was worried. He was worried that might bring that up again. And so.
I appreciate the sensitivity around the topic. Now I need to see. So if you guys in the group chat could just text me a picture of her too, because
I don't think they even looked that much alike. She was the same build and had dark hair. That was it. But she said, I'm Steve's friend from Cincinnati.
You do look alike in that you're both brunette females.
She said Steve's friend from Cincinnati. That's what she said the first time she met me. And I was like,
brunette.
Oh, yeah, I remember you. That's what happened. That's what it was, just the way, because it wouldn't occur to me that Steve would have two friends anywhere. So
I don't. I have one ex and one friend. And
Bowers is still like, it has to be the same person, right? It's still got to be the same person.
I didn't even meet Rachel in Cincinnati. The first time we met was in Melbourne, Australia, because she was a friend of Malone's. Mm-hmm. The idea that like to me, she's not even my friend from Cincinnati. She's my friend from Melbourne who now lives here. Mm-hmm. And so like the idea, it's fun for me. This is very fun for me.
And Rachel is my friend.
I drove home in silence going, I can't believe I fucked that up for 2 minutes.
That is so funny.
Oh, we should totally do a game where we just invent backstories for each other.
I haven't dated any comedians. Can we just say that? People think, but I'm not a chuckle fucker.
Which is what they call.
That's what they call females that hang around comedians and have intercourse with comedians.
The chuckle fucker.
Okay, I guess Carmel's not a chuckle fucker either.
Here is Bowers finding out that you can date your coworkers. And the retirement version.
Isolation Nation.
Thanks for subscribing on YouTube and throwing in some stars on Facebook.
And of course, joining our Patreon will give you all kinds of cool benefits like front row tickets to a live show.
Make sure to watch the Social Distancing Social Club live every Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday on my YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook.
You can watch it on mine too.
You have a YouTube, Steve?
That's good.
Yeah, of course I have YouTube.
I didn't know you had a YouTube.
Yeah.
Wait, what is YouTube?
Okay.
What is,
You're
what
going to
is
get a YouTube, buddy. You'll all get YouTube.
I totally have a YouTube.
Thanks for subscribing.